There was a moment in my life when my self-confidence hit its lowest. As a strong believer that working hard can get you anywhere, I first struck a moment where I wondered if this is not all that true. I was never good at statistics, for I never understood how one can obtain good grades in statistics. But with the belief that working hard is all that is required to succeed, I challenged myself to study statistics in masters, as statistics was considered as a subject highly likely to get a job easily after graduation. Out of the group of people I was socializing with in undergraduate, I was the only one that chose to study graduate, so master's degree. To be frank, the group of students I was socializing with were average to low graded, balancing between a grade of B to C. So when I came to associate myself with a bunch of graduate students who are on average ranging from B plus to A plus, I really lost my confidence. The first semester of the graduate studies year started, and for the first assignment in a course, the grade came out at 85%. Although what I wanted was something higher than 95%, I felt that if I work a little harder, I can do better, perhaps receive 90% or higher in the second round. To my disappointment, however, for the second assignment, I received something lower, around 70%. Although I was greatly saddened by the grade, irrespective of having put hours of work into it, I tried to be positive and encouraged myself by saying that if I work harder, it will improve. When the results of the third assignment came out, I became very miserable. To my astonishment, I found that I had failed. The grade for the third assignment was less than 50%. I wasn't a full A-plus student in undergraduate, but I was one of the excelling students at high school, and with statistics being a subject I was fairly good at, I didn't at all anticipate that even if I work hard, I will actually fail with a given homework. So when I received the grade for the third assignment, I was extremely shocked. A lot of emotions and thoughts went through my mind from this day onwards. When I entered the graduate students' study space, I started to look around me and compare myself to these group of students who seemed to have put much less hours than me, but what seemed like they easily obtained B plus and above. Yet, in comparison, here I was having spent around 10 hours on this homework to only fail. I started to wonder what is my purpose here and question what I was trying to do with this graduate degree. I imagined a scenario where this group of students studying a graduate course with me and I were sitting down for the same job interview. Then obviously these group of students would have the better chance of getting the job than I will. In addition, I had never really enjoyed statistics, so the feelings that I had got worse. I was reminding myself that I was only taking statistics because of job prospectus, so I was wondering why I was here doing something that I don't even like and I'm not good at. What made it worse is that each and every one of these graduate degree students were also hardworking students. So I started to think, what is the point of me working hard now if I am, metaphorically speaking, walking and working hard to reach the running stage, if these students by the time I'm in the running stage will be flying? Streams of negative thoughts were increasing and it seemed to get worse by the day. In fact, I spent half of that year crying every single day, and I could not find any reason for me to continue the study as a graduate student. Then one day when I was again sobbing, this time sitting down on a bench at a park, I suddenly wondered, why is it that I am again sitting down on a bench crying right now? Those other students in graduate studies at this hour will be working on their homework or revising to better understand the courses, and here I am sobbing yet once again. This then made me come to another goal for myself. I realized that probabilistically speaking, if I work hard, at least I can get from a B- to B, or from a C+ to B-. I reflected back in my past high school times when working hard did get me somewhere. And although I didn't understand fully why before with this third assignment I received a worse grade, irrespective of the hard work I put in, I knew that not working is definitely not going to get me anywhere. On the other hand, I knew that working hard has a better chance of getting me somewhere. I realized how it was a waste of time to compare myself with others. I realized that my skills in statistics will never improve by the number of hours spent on comparing myself with others. In addition, being envious of other people's skill will not have gained me any more skill or experience in statistics itself. I've just waited another phase of emotional stress by another who probably doesn't even know I exist. So I converted my viewpoints of seeing others as competitors as potential teachers that I can learn from. With me having to pay the tuition fee for university anyway, with this new viewpoint, I realized that I was now able to study surrounded by a whole load of teachers to learn from that was free. Hence, that is what I did. From that day on, although there were moments when my emotions would get weak again, I was better able to manage my feelings and reduce the time spent on crying or not cry at all because I knew I no longer had the luxury of time to cry. Sometimes when I did cry, however, I was crying and working at the same time. I would just let the tears drop, and with a tissue on the side, I wiped the fallen tears and did not lose focus on the particular page I was reading at the time or the particular question I was looking at in the homework. Eventually, in the latter half of the year, I found myself improving. I received the first A+ in the graduate studies, in addition with a number of higher grades in the range from A- to A+. If I now think about what it was that made me get the worst grades in the previous course, I think it was somewhat by coincidence that I got worse grades. It wasn't the fact that hard work leads to worse grades, but I'm thinking that it's likely that I had a wrong interpretation of the homework question, or because I was not so detailed when I was reading the particular coursework, so I didn't really fully understand the particular question that was being asked in the homework. Hence, although I was working hard in an incorrect manner. That is, I spent hours writing a beautiful, incorrect answer to the homework. My message to you here in this video is that putting work will definitely get you somewhere, but putting no work will, with 100% certainty, get you nowhere. What made me pull through is to stop comparing myself with others, but learn to enjoy being at second place. Instead of treating others as competitors, I look to them as resources for me to learn and to grow and develop my skills. I realize that if I work on this today, I can at least get the better grade than I otherwise could have if I don't do anything about it right now. In addition, I also realized that one advantage of not being so much better off than others was that others don't tend to think of me as a competitor, so they tended to be more nicer to me, whose generosity I did enjoy. I hope the story of what happened to me and how I pulled through helped you to oversee the troubles in your life if you're going through a low point right now. Thank you for hearing me out. I hope the best for you. and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!